Right, we're here today at Heronbrook Fisheries for round 4 of the Math Knockout Challenge. And I've been lucky enough to draw against this bloke, which I ain't too happy about. Really, I wanted Andy Makers, he'd have been dead easy. But anyway, I got lucky enough to draw this, the home venue. So I got to pick the venue. So we're here on the Meadow Pool at Heronbrook, which is a bit of a favourite of mine, I must admit.
Yeah, you're a bit good on here, aren't you?
Not good, I'm just lucky.
No, a bit good.
I just draw good pegs. But we're going to sit on the dicky bit, we're going to sit on the tricky bit on 30 and 32, which should give us like a nice sensible match where we're fishing for sort of 100, maybe 150 pound of fish as well, of some proper carp, and we can do a bit of all sorts here. So we're going to have the draw, and then we're going to get ready, and then we're going to catch some fish. So I'm going to let Andy draw first.
All right. 32.
Oh, I wanted that one.
You said you weren't bothered.
But I want that one now.
I want that one.
That leaves me on 26. I mean, no, 30.
26.
Right, let's go catch some fish. What I think I'm going to do today, I'm quite familiar with this venue, I must admit this is my favourite lake in the world. I coach on here all the time and fish lots of matches, so hopefully I feel like I can get it right quite quick. But what I'm going to do, just because it's been a bit different the last few days, I'm going to start really negative short on meat. That's not something I'd normally do, but I'm going to just start there, just so I can watch Andy, see where he starts catching. If he goes straight across, hopefully pick a few carp up short on meat. But my main line today is going to be across to that mud hole, where I've got 3 different lines. I've got 3 different depths, probably 2 foot, 3 foot and 4 foot. And they're all pretty much in line with each other. So my plan is pretty much to feed pellets onto that far line and swap between the rigs all day. So it's amazing. The rigs are probably 6 inches apart, as in up the shelf. And it's amazing how many fish you catch by dropping down, catching a little spit, moving up, catching a little spit. You can really look after your peg just by having one area to feed. And hopefully that's going to give me a lot of fish in one area of my peg, which should, or with a bit of luck, hopefully it should give me a weight around 100, 150 pound if I'm lucky. So pretty much that's it. My day's dead simple. 1 short meat line, 1 across line, and maybe down that edge. I'm going to plumb it up now and just have a little look. But to be honest, I'm a big believer on this one, in that when you come down the edge, it's the same fish as you catch across. So it's almost pointless. If I'm getting one a chuck across, then there's no need to come down the edge. So I'll plumb it up just in case. But other than that, dead simple. We'll see how we go. All right. Best of luck. Best of luck, Andrew. Go gentle on me.
Well, today, fishing against Jamie and the knockout. And if you're aware, we're at Heronbrook Fisheries, where he's brought me. He drew the home venue. So he was nice and kind and brought me to his favourite venue, where he's probably going to catch 300 pound. So I just thought, keep it quite simple really, fishing pellets across, hard pellets, 6mm pellets on the deck and shallow. And as a bit of a gamble, I'm going to feed casters shallow down the middle and hope that some F1s come or the carp decide to have a go on the casters. It's been a funny week for weather really. It's been red hot, but the fish have not been feeding very well. So it could be, Jamie reckons it'll be a low weight affair. I'm not so certain really, because he never catches low weights. So it could be a mecca, to be fair. So we're on Meadow Pool, pegs 30 and 32, and it is known for its big weights, this lake, so it's just a matter of sort of feeling his way into it and see how it fishes. But if it is an 80-100 pound day, it could be very interesting. Because the fishing here now are, from what I can gather, are quite a big stamp, and there's a lot of carp, 4 or 5 pound. Which is why I've decided to fish hard pellets across rather than soft pellets, expanders and micros. if it was, I think if it was a bit more of an F1 match or a small carp match, it'd be, I'd definitely be fishing micros and expanders. But today, like I say, it's looking for big carp across and hopefully get some F1s shallow on casters. I don't know, no bites or indications, and also there's a couple of missed bites, and that one literally just pulled elastic out. Little scrapper. Yeah. It's not very big though, he's just pulling. Only a little one. A little bit bigger, is that one? Oh. There's 2 grand's worth of technology broken there.
Right. I suppose it's been like the sort of start I was expecting on here, to be honest. The only thing that's worrying me is that Andrew next to me is catching carpies and I'm not. I think we've had 4 or 5 fish apiece and all Andy's have been carp and all mine have been F1s, which is definitely worrying me a little. But, say it's still dead early, so I started on that meat and I never had a bite, I just foul hooked one at half depth. So that said to me that they definitely don't want to be on the bottom in that deep water just yet, if at all. So I've gone straight across and I've started getting some bites out and I've caught some F1s straight away. I've had a few bites. I've started on my middle line, middle at me 3 depths. This is a carpy. Was a carpy, is a carpy. Yeah, I've started on my middle line just to play safe. Okay, so they're being a bit nuts today by the looks. And there's a few fish moving. It's definitely going to be, so it's not going to be a silly match. We're not going to need silly weights. What's going on here? That's in the mouth, that as well. Absolute raving lunatic carp. But I think Andy's just had another bigger now, so he must have 4 for £20. Whereas I've got 4 for £5. So I better land this. So other than that, no. So it's going to be hopefully a nice simple day. So I do think that meat line will work. I was just saying to the lads, it's the first time for quite a while I've seen fish blowing down the middle, which is normally a good sign for there's some fish feeding down the middle. so hopefully, but that short line should kick in today. I really do fancy it, as long as everything stays, the weather stays as it is. Another thing that I'm picking up on already is that I think this is too light. I mean, I'm fishing, my kit's a bit too light. So weirdly, my other two rigs, my shallower one and my deeper one, are heavier than this one. But I thought I'd just set this one up lighter, just in case it was a tricky F1 day. So I could keep things delicate to begin with, but I may have to step this up to next elastic. Better one. Hear what Andrew's catching there, what we need to catch. See, I don't need many of them. But I think normally on here it's a bit of a slow start venue, to be honest. It does take an hour or two to start kicking off, so for us to be getting bites already, it's a proper good sign. But we'll carry on for a bit, see how we go. So I've plumbed that edge up as well. And I'm really not fancying my edge because I stuck my hand in there to have a little feel what it was like, and I'm amazed how undercut it is. That must be, it's undercut nearly, it's pushing 2 foot. It's crazy how far undercut that is. So I'm very worried, if you like, about feeding the edge if I need to. Ow. But so we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to plod on these lines for a bit. So the big decision is going to come in about an hour and a half's time, when this line's either solid and I've got to move shallower, or whether it's fizzled out and I've got to come deeper. If it fizzles out, we're in trouble. Really, really in trouble. For the minute, plod along, see how it goes. So I'm not sure how Andy's feeding her. I think he's just going with the pinging option by the looks. He's getting a few indications. So I always find it's best to do a bit of both, a bit of cupping, a bit of pinging as well. Just because the pingings, it's great for getting them in your peg, but it can send them a little bit crazy. So it's much better to be a little bit patient. Similar to that video I did at Old Duff the other week in that live match. By pinging at the wrong time, you can easily send them a bit nuts once a lot of fish come into your peg. So now that I feel that there's some there, I'm just holding back a little bit. I still do want to get a few more fish in my peg, but at the same time, I want to catch some. So I'm going to keep on feeding this short line. So while there's bubbles down the middle, there have been no bubbles on my short line yet, but that's because I brought it up the slope a little bit where it's a little bit harder, where the bottom's a little bit harder. But normally you still get an odd fizz there. I've seen nothing on that yet to tell me that I can use that as a little resty line to drop in if I need to. There's an odd fish in my peg. Oh, that was not right with that pellet. Yeah, he's good. He's good. I'm seeing things. Seeing things. I'm just going to carry on. So I've got to keep a close eye for if I see any fish any shallower. So my peg actually goes about a foot shallower. No, 8 inches shallower, right against the mud. But it's quite steep there. It's quite a bit of a cleft. So it's going to be very hard to catch steady on that, but it's often where the great big lads feed on this lake, touching that grass, not touching the bare bank if I can get to it. The carp just swam on my peg then. There's an odd one responding. Attract a few more. See, it's good with having that, my line's so close to the far bank, I can actually ping, and I can put, if I feed 10 pellets, 5 of them might land on the bank. But at least the 5 that I'm feeding in are really close to the bank, and I'm getting, I mean, lots of noise with only a little bit of bait, but it's all really accurate because I'm putting so much bait actually on the bank. It's a bit easier than fishing open water where you've really got to concentrate to keep things tight. There's definitely fish coming into my peg, but it's definitely not solid yet. So the only other thing that I've done, I've plumbed it up, but I've not set a rig up for it, but one of these will do, is a little extra line down there, right in the middle in between pegs. Because I find on this particular lake, they often don't like fishing, or they don't like feeding in the cutouts. So if they're being a bit moody, now and again having a little separate line just down my peg that I'll actually feed that with bigger pellets as well. I'll feed that with 6s. Sometimes you can drop on that and have a little run of big carp, like proper big 8-10 pound things. You can catch 2 or 3 of them. But I'm not going to feed that just yet because I want to see how many fish are playing ball before I do. See, I thought quite quickly we'd have them like sucking in the grass and things like that today. But they're definitely not. I don't think the carp are going to have a proper feed today. I think it's going to be quite a nice civilised one. Hopefully. I don't want to catch too many fish, I'm knackered. 40 fish, that'll be. As long as they're all great big ones.
Right, well, it's not the best really. I think I've got 11 fish, 9 proper carp and 2 F1s. It's really strange. There's carp coming into the peg across sucking, pinging 6mm pellets. But they're really cute, really hard to catch. I think I had maybe 6 or 7 in the first 40 minutes. And then it's been really hard. But luckily the fish I've had have sort of been of a good stamp. I seen a few swirls on my caster shallow line, and I've dropped in on that and hooked one straight away expecting it to be an F1, and it was actually a carp about 7 pounds, so it's been biggest carp at day really. That was it for that, no more bites. And we're slurping in the grass opposite me here, so I've just gone across with my dobbing rig, shallow rig shall I say, into the grass, and eventually annoyed a common about 4 pound, which took me all over the lake and got him in. But it's really strange. It's because it's sort of like 3.5 foot deep, and then you go into the mud line and it comes up to sort of like 2 foot. The fish are sort of like, could be at any depth really, but I don't think they're feeding properly. Jamie's, I don't know, Jamie's got maybe a dozen or 15 fish, but I don't think he's had many carp, which I suppose some of these snake lakes sometimes it can go that way. One peg catches carp, one peg catches F1s, but you know what Jamie's like, he don't often come in second place, does he? So it's I've still got a big battle on my hands. I'm just hoping that either this shallow line across or shallow line down the middle is going to come good, because I can't really see catching on the bottom working, because nearly all the fish are up in the water. Most of my bites I've had on the deck, shall we say, have come on the drop, holding my rig tight. So that tells me they're not really eating on the bottom, they're just taking just taking loose offerings really, which is why I'm sort of feeding really often, but not many, maybe 3-4 pellets. And I'm lucky if 2 of them go in the water, to be fair, because most of them are going up far bank. But yeah, it's just very strange really. Just hoping that that they have a chomp really. They're there, it's just they don't want to feed at the moment. It's just typical carp fishing. We could go and catch 200 pound in the last 2 hours here. It's absolutely solid with fish. You just never know, it could be like this all day, just picking very odd fish off. Just trying to annoy one at the moment, shall we say, just trying to drop it on its head. But since I caught that dobber, I've not seen one come up in grass. Like, I've annoyed them all now and they've swam off. Probably swam up to Jamie's peg and he'll extract them all shortly, but I don't know what to expect really. We're not knowing the venue very well. Obviously Jamie knows it quite well, fishes it quite often. I've only fished it on a couple of big qualifiers. I don't really know what to expect. Obviously with the majority of my fish I've caught have been like 3 to 5 pound. You don't need many of them to put together a weight. A good run of half an hour towards the end and you could put 100 pound in a net in no time. It's just, like I said earlier, it's just the weather that we've been having at the moment. It's high pressure, fish have started spawning again, then they've stopped, and I think some silvers have spawned, so that carp are eating the silver spawn. I don't think it's just an iffy time of year. It always is whenever it's spawning time. It's normally iffy for a month around. Oh, well, there's one there dobbing. See if he'll have a go. Try and annoy him. Oh, he swam off, hasn't he? Didn't want that pellet. They're definitely spooked these, like I say, because that last there was probably, I could see 6 or 8 carp just slurping in the reeds. And when I caught one of them, that's it. I've not seen one since in like 10 minutes. That was the first one I've seen really. So they're certainly spooked these. So that means that they're not hungry enough to stay in the peg when one gets hooked. So it's just a case of sort of feeding very little to hope that you can trick an odd one into taking the up bait. It's not exactly easy. And plus I was here late this morning, so Jamie's done gardening and he's left loads of grass in my peg, which ain't helping. I think he's done it on purpose. Go back on bottom, see if there's an odd one on bottom. Oh, I can see one now. That always happens, doesn't it? No. It was worth a go. I'll go back up bottom, see if there's a couple lined up on the bottom. Might just be a case of swapping between rigs and finding what depths they want to be in and just picking off odd fish at different depths. Shallow on the bottom. Got another rig, which is what, 2 and a bit foot, which goes up into that mud hole. Not confident they'll go into that yet, because like I said, they'll want in that depth. It's sort of like I want to eat depth, so I'm not confident they're going to be in that water yet, but you never know. Later on, last couple of hours, if they decide to have a feed, it could be lift off on that line. See if there's any that have gone back down on the deck. It's really important that try to lay the rig in and just hold it tight. bites. The fish are coming sort of like as the pellet's settling. I've had very few bites where the float's just sat there on the bottom motionless and it goes. It's not, see there, bite straight away. It's a little bit of a breeze getting up and it's not easy to hold the rig tight. Another indication then. It's a case of sort of letting it get to the bottom, repeat the process, let it rig in again. Just try and hold it tight. There's a little bit of a breeze, it boats your float and sort of spoils the process, you need to repeat it then. Not had many bites lifting and dropping, which with this pinging method, shall we say, normally works quite well. I don't. It's just different every time, I suppose. But we could come here tomorrow and never get a bite laying it in like this, and every bite come from lifting and dropping. It's all out. Depends on how the fish want it on the day, really. At all times. Especially with this ripple coming on now, I'll be surprised if I can't catch some fish shallow later on.
That's what we do. That's what we needed. No, don't do that.
Sorry.
Woosah. Woosah. Yes. Nearly got very, very angry then.
I think he was scared to get snagged.
I think I'd have jumped in after him and like run down the lake. Come here. Give us me rig back. No, if he has, then just turn the camera off, okay? Yeah. Yeah, guaranteed Jamie having a meltdown. Well, £50 million behind Andy. So he just decides to catch 8-pounders today and nothing else. Not even a big boy, is he? He's a little lunatic. It's always like a proper sign that they're not playing when a little one like that fights that hard. It's when they're not very settled at all. Right, well we're about halfway through. And if I'm honest, I'm hating it, it's horrible. They are not playing one bit today, but it's ever so confusing because there's always fish present in your peg, but they're not eating, they're being a bit clever. I've got lots of little F1s in my peg, little tiny 10-ounce things that they're just making me miss bites. I'm catching an odd one of them, but there just don't seem to be many carp in this little strait where we are. which I think it's why we're having a bit of aggro with these little fish. I say I've gone for the fill me peg full of fish option and attract lots of fish, and I think that's been my downfall. I must be £20 behind Andy easy, because he's just caught carp. I mean, every fish he's had's been £5–6, whereas I'm messing about with little 10-ounce F1s. I'm only catching 2 to his 1, so I'm nowhere near catching him up. But I need something to change. So in the past, I know that this lake, it just randomly kicks in often. I mean, that carp, a typical of carp, the later in the day, they happily out to have a chew. So that was a bit good. I'm just going to keep plodding along, and hopefully a few more carp would start feeding. So I've just literally, as we plug the camera in, then I've just had one, a little carp, £1 and a bit, but then I'm straight back to these little things. But at least I'm putting something in the net, which I wasn't doing for a while, so I'm a little bit happier. So I'll keep feeding that meat line, short, but whether that's going to kick in or not, I really don't know, because it just doesn't look fishy. There were some bubbles down middle earlier on, which was making me think that, yeah, maybe. But the couple of times I've tried it, so I fouled up one fish chuck, which that was miles off the bottom, that was just swimming past. I've had a little F1 on it, and I've had a roach on it. See, Andy's got another carp there. So I definitely think that the patient approach with bigger pellets may have been the option today. I think. I don't know, possibly even deeper as well. So I've even kicked off me deeper line, or not me deeper, oh yeah, in the deeper water, but a line down the bank. Say that I feed with a few 6mm that I can often drop on and catch some bigger fish, and that's not even worked. I've dropped on it. I caught an F1, a decent F1, about £2, but I've not caught a carp on that. So I'm a bit confused at the moment as to how the carp and if and when and whatever else are feeding. I saw something there then. It's worth a little drop just to see. Oh, we had a look at it. But yeah, see, there's the odd one like them, then there's an odd and cruising. But whether there's enough in this area to settle on us to catch later on, I don't know. I really don't at the moment. It wouldn't even surprise me if like £70–80 for it to be enough to sort of win. It's quite a tricky one. So I'm miles off that at the moment. I've got £25 in my net. So I'm absolutely a million miles away from doing any good at the moment. But it doesn't take long with the better stamp of carp in this lake here. Like £5, £6, £7. So you only need a very quick run of them, which I would fancy getting in this area. There's always plenty of carp on this strait, or normally. Hopefully we should get a run. There's a lot of fish topping in that bend up by Andy, but I don't think they're going to come and feed. We shall see. I'm going to plug along, just keep catching the odd one on this middle rig. So I've tried shallower and I've tried deeper at different points of the slope, and I've not caught. I didn't catch a fish deeper, had a few liners, didn't catch a fish though. And on the shallow line, I don't get a flipping bite, which is weird considering how many indications I'm getting literally 8 inches deeper. But they're not happy at all to go into that shallowest water today. Not in numbers anyway. There's been the odd one there while I've been fishing, but never enough for me to get bites. But, so I'm going to carry on with this for a little bit, just unless I see anything change. Oh, a little pull on that then. There's one at the back now. I'm going to plod along and see what happens for another half hour before I think I'm going to have to make a change to catch up, otherwise I'm definitely going to get beat. But we'll see if I can claw back £5 in the next 20 minutes. And then we'll go from there. Nuts do, don't they? Absolutely mental today. They're like, yeah, they're just going crazy. To be fair, I don't think it's snags they're going for. The ones I've been getting caught on, they're just like brambles sticking over, and they just grab your rig rather than the fish goes into them. Because they just run like the length of the slope.
I think I don't know if it's after cooling, kind of like,
Yeah, they go crazy for a bit.
they've kind of lost a bit of weight and charged up just a bit.
Yeah, it is, definitely, I'd agree with that. We're catching now though, do you know what I mean? Andy's got one as well, but I feel like I'm catching up slowly. So it ain't going to take long, is it, if them carp have a feed?
Fishing's not really been the best. It's been very frustrating, really, like that. Caught very odd fish pinging long and a couple of fish sort of dobbing them. And then I've had one fish shallow and just lost this fish shallow. It's really strange because they're coming and going in like sort of 2s and 3s. You can go in and get a run of indications and then sit there for 10-15 minutes and not get a bite whatsoever. Probably reckon I've got about 15 or 16 proper carp and a couple of F1s for probably £60, which I don't know whether Jamie's lying or not, but he says he's not got a right lot, to be fair, so it's just expecting something to happen and it just isn't. Like, oh, there's another proper bite then. Like I say, keep expecting fish to have a feed, but they just don't seem to be interested really. I've fed my margin now. I've put half a pot of corn in. I've been watching. It's only like 18-inch. I've been watching for some tail pattern or anything, but not seen anything. But I think it's. I don't think we're going to have a mad last hour as such. I think it's just going to be sort of a case of hope that I can still catch an odd fish to the end. Oh, that one's on. There could be a few fish coming on this now because I've just missed a couple of bites, lost that one and got this one, so fed this all day, even though every time I've gone on it I've not had any bites. I've still kept on feeding it because that's the thing about shallow fishing, you can go on it at any time and they can just turn up. So it's not a case of going on it, not getting a bite and well I'm not going to feed that. It's just keep plugging away and there is a possibility that you can land on some fish at some point. It may never happen, but happens so many times where you could just drop in and catch a quick 5 or 6 fish and then nothing, and then do that again a couple of times and it really boosts your weight up and it sometimes changes your matches really, and it's how you win some matches. I think he's a great big F1. Be nice if he is, yeah. Probably 2.5–3 pound him. So hopefully, if Jamie's telling the truth, it could be just in front, but I know what he's like. He always catches a few and he likes to tell an odd fib, so I'm not overly confident yet, and there is still an hour and a half to go yet, and he's, if anybody can catch a load of fish in that time, it's certainly Jamie, so just have to wait and see. Hopefully I can go out on this again and get another few F1s. I've not fed it overly heavy. I've probably, been feeding it for like 2.5–3 hours now, and I've probably fed nearly 2 pints of casters, so it's not It's not manic where I've been feeding a pint an hour or more than that. Like I said earlier, I've not felt like they've been wanting the feed, so you just got to keep sort of little and often, just in case they do turn up. I'm hoping that they'll come properly on that far bank as well and start feeding in that grass. Well, the ducks are feeding in the grass at the moment, but hopefully the nasty carp will come and push them out of the way.
Cheers for that, mate. I enjoyed that. We've gone like a bit gentle, innit? Rich, what are we going to do with him? Should we leave him in the drawer? He's all pretty. He is very pretty, isn't he? I can't do that. He might be not being an indigenous species to Partridge Lakes. Mightn't he? I might be like f***ing about with evolution and that. Isn't it? What? I can't. It's his home, innit? Do you know what I mean? Right, we're all done. I didn't like that. But no, to be fair, it's been like a proper dodgy day, like we almost expected. It's been brilliant. We caught loads of fish, but not quite meta standard. But so we're going to wake some fish in now and see what we got. I think Andy's definitely he's given me a sore one, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Because I don't think I've ever beat you yet, so
no, you've proper hit me today. But so it's been good. We'll talk about it in a little bit how we both fished. So we fished very, very different matches. Andy's like made me learn a bit, to be honest. I've never ever, like in this little area of the lake, seen people catch the way you have today.
Yeah.
I'm proper impressed with that catching shallow. I wouldn't even thought about it.
Yeah, well, like I said before, Matt, I thought I'm going to have to do something different to beat you on your own water. And
yeah,
that way it were a complete throwaway. And as it's turned out, like, you know, some F1s have rocked up on it in that last hour, but couldn't catch nothing on it up until then.
It's weird, isn't it? Then you just have a little feed later on.
Yeah. Well, nothing's wanted to feed all day, has it? No. Wherever you put bait, nothing's come near it really. You just had liners and...
That's an odd day, isn't it? Odd day. But right, let's get them weighed in and then we go to the pub. Little baby fish.
Silverfish in there.
No. You're doing adding up for me, love.
$37 for.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you. Cheers. They're brilliant, these, aren't they?
Proper like dead quick for waiting, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just a shame we haven't got many fish to go in it.
Lots of fish, pal.
Not enough of them
Loads
big ones,
of fish. Loads of fish. I think that's a very good net split, is that, Mr. Hughes?
Like that. I need another one to go with it.
38.8. Well done, pal.
Woo. And you got a green one.
Shallow.
We nearly had, if that was his ginger green one, that was all over. £40.8.
You do.
Ready? He's hurt me, Rich. He's like proper hurt me. Honest. He's like proper.
So, yeah, it's always say big one for last, don't you? Oh.
I'll grab him.
Alright with that.
He's going to hurt me with 2 nets even just to really, really upset me. $39.
It'll not happen again, Jamie.
I'm sure it will.
I promise you.
It's either you or your hairy mate is guaranteed to hurt me again. Our hairy mate's gone, hasn't he? Hairy bloke's gone.
He's gone. He got pillaged, didn't he?
Matty, yeah.
He got breamed.
Look, he has saved big net to last as well. We get him. We get him.
We'll get him. Tight, I think.
Maybe. Yeah, we're getting him. $49.
Lovely.
Well and truly spankled me, Andrew.
Cheers. He wants cat shots now, doesn't he?
Yeah, we've got to get catch up. I'll have to sit here for like 4 hours catching how many fish again. In fact, longer than that. Right. He's beat me by loads. So, to be fair, my gear's going to be on eBay later if anyone wants to snaffle it up nice and cheap. No, I'm only joking. No, you've done awesome, mate. Fair play. He's had, what have we had? £128 to my £76 piffling effort.
Yeah, it's. I think it goes to show like how two pays can be so different. You've caught loads of small fish. I've caught some better fish.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's certainly opened my eyes.
It's been a weird day, and it's, in all fairness, though, I've got to admit, I was useless. I mean, I've fished a dead scatty match expecting it to be a lot better, and I've almost been too much of a stubborn bugger, knowing the place so well. I've fished what? Oh, this will be dead easy. I'll catch £200, but it's not because it's been tricky, and you fished a sensible match.
Yeah.
I've blown mine to bits, and you've hurt me, mate. You've got a job done. But thank you, mate.
Cheers, pal.
Make sure you beat them summoners in the next one.
Oh yeah, we will do. Yeah.